All right, so the solo technique I want to work on, we're in the key of D, basically. It's a little ambiguous, but what I'm going to show you is to take the D minor pentatonic, because we're kind of playing a rock kind of solo, and we're going to add some half steps that come from the scale called Dorian, which is kind of a happier sounding of the minor scales. But anyway, you don't have to worry about anything too fancy. I do have a ton of stuff on this at guitarjams.com, but I'm going to show you some things right now. So let's just talk about the two positions of the D minor pentatonic first. We got the 10th fret right there, and then we've got the A root version of that. You know, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 6, 8, 5, 8. And then we got 5, 8 on the low E. Doesn't hurt to know the extension on both of those. And then you've also got, you know, adding the blues note. But those aren't the things that we're going to do for Dorian. So here's what we're going to do for Dorian. When you play your, you know, your standard pentatonic licks, you can go into little flavors like that. So if you see the D minor box right here along the 10th fret, there's two spots where you have a little half step in the D Dorian scale. It's right here between the 9 and 10 on the D, and the same thing on the G. So if you know that and you're soloing, also, you can see from the half step is the next note down in that other position. So you can use these little half step slides even with one finger to get yourself into another position besides those runs that I've taught you. So still, the meat and the flavor comes from that pentatonic scale. The pentatonic notes are the strongest notes, and then you've got cool flavors that you can add on top of it. And experimenting with it over jam tracks, or I have a looper pedal, and I can practice and through trial and error find little things that I like. Okay, so you got little half steps right there. Then on the B and the high E, you've got half steps between the 12 and the 13 on the B, and the 12 and the 13 on the high E. And then you also have that half step right there on the low E. I'm going to do a clean version of that. let's look at some of the half steps in that A-rooted position. You've got 5, but then you also have 6, 7 if you want on the A string. On the D string, it's the same as the pentatonic. It's just 5 to 7. But then on the G string, you have this. You have the 4th fret, if you want it. You can see there, if I'm in this hand position, I might use my pinky there, and then put my index back and switch. Now you have 5, 6, 7 on the B, and then you have 5, 7, 8 on the high E. So that's all just kind of the evolution of experimenting with those half steps, especially if you already have blues licks that you like. I'm just going 5, 7 on the G and middle finger on the 6 of the B, D minor pentatonic. But I know that I have this half step below it. Now I'm starting to show off, so I'll stop. But you can see that that's really what modal playing is. I think the most accessible way to it is knowing your pentatonics and then just feeling those half steps and seeing what works for you. But this was a good example to kind of use that D Dorian idea in that classic rock kind of vein if you were kind of feeling stale with just knowing a couple of blues licks or pentatonic licks. That might kind of spice things up for you. So have fun with that.